Welcome, Fracture Co-Agent, to the Multiversal Explorer program. Please pay attention to this presentation as it contains important information you will require in the days to come. Just over a century ago, a Fracture Co employee was lost in the first attempt to create a ship capable of traveling the multiverse. Unfortunately, due to an oversight in calculations, the ship was likely destroyed upon encountering the differential physics of another universe. While we have continued to work on the problem since that incident, we have only recently discovered a solution. Us scientists have concluded that in order to utilize the universal resonance field produced by our species biology to stabilize a ship, that ship must be constructed entirely by its pilot. In addition, the ship will only remain stable so long as no other passengers are aboard during transit. Therefore, we have assembled a group of brave Fracture Co employees willing to undertake this mission. We will soon arrive at one of the dimensional rifts we have discovered with our long-range scans. We have managed to create a pocket dimension within the rift. If our calculations are correct, this dimension should give you access to a plethora of components and capabilities from throughout the multiverse, in order to best facilitate your mission. We have done our best to create protections against some of the more hostile elements, but you should still be careful, as we don't know exactly how the dimension will behave. However, it has been designed to suit your particular needs, as determined by the psychological evaluation you completed during your application to the program. Your mission is to enter the pocket dimension, create a ship capable of traveling the multiverse, and return it to our dimension. From there, you will be dispatched on various assignments should your ship prove to be up to Fracture Co standards. Good luck, Agent. Fracture Co thanks you. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of FTB Skies 2 on the FTOG server. How about that intro, huh? That starting area, if you're playing on single player, is where you'll start. On the server, it's just like a stone brick box with a portal in it, because I think it's been set up that way. But yeah, if you start in a single player, you'll be on that ship, and there's asteroids and stations around. I think I covered everything of note in the pictures, but here we are. Next, there are 8 or 10, I don't remember exactly which, starting islands that you can choose. I have chosen the Magic Cottage. If you want to see the others, Grok released a video last Sunday that explains all of them, and you should definitely go watch that, even if you're not planning on playing, so you can see the different options. Now, I have been playing for probably about 10 hours at this point, and I've done some basic work. And rather than try and explain it all in order, I'm just going to take you for a tour around the island and explain as we go. So first things first, behind me, you can see the market block, which we can use to buy saplings and seeds and stuff. That's a pretty standard for Minecraft these days. This white trader carpet is supposed to attract wandering traders. They'll spawn here. It actually doesn't work like that in this pack, because this pack uses an event system to spawn wandering traders, and this is actually useless, because this only attracts the wandering traders that vanilla spawn. But let me show you around inside. We have this basic bottom floor. I'm going to take this table out, I think. It's kind of in the way. And then we have on the top floor here, we have a pre-made enchanting setup without a table, and an anvil, grindstone, and stone cutter, and then a fireplace. Not too much done inside, because it was just more convenient to do it outside, but I think I might turn this into a storage room, or I might put the storage room below. I haven't decided yet, but there's that. Continuing. Down there, under the house, is a waste stone that we might use next episode. Right here is there's a water wheel up there, an encased fan, and this is just a smelter. Not too complicated, pretty easy, just an encased fan, a glass pane to keep the lava in, and this is for smelting ores and stuff. Over here, we have a cobblestone generator. This is not part of it. This was here before. We have a cobblestone generator, and then the FTB Stuff and Things mod. Actually, I need to activate this, because we want to keep the tick off as much as possible. We have auto hammer, which requires no power and will turn cobblestone into gravel, and then gravel into dirt, into sand, into dust. No power, and I have been on the server long enough to have all of these full with 2,000 of each, which should last us quite a while. Sleeping through the night. Heading on behind here, we have a composter setup. This is a very basic thing. Vanilla Minecraft, copper chest, not too complicated. This is one of the resource producers from the FTB Stuff and Things mod, the water strainer, which just needs to be in a source block. It doesn't need items through it, it doesn't need anything. But I have it hoppering into this gold chest. It produces all the saplings, all the rocks, and some other stuff like that. There's room, I have some stack tier upgrades, so there's lots of room, and that just kind of runs and gets me stuff. This was here when we got here. So we have the note blocks. I don't know why these are here. But, as you can see, it's a good demonstration of the way the trapdoors work in this pack. You can open as many as you want with one click. We have, moving on down the path, we have a masonry table from Chipped. We have a campfire with a skillet on top for cooking things on a campfire. And then we have the forge hammer for modern industrialization, which can be used for making ingot plates, and most importantly, sawdust, which we use to make cardboard boxes to move these gears. So, this is one of the paths of resource generation in the pack, is the gears. And I had a big platform where I was waiting for them to grow manually. Middleclaw pointed out that the growth accelerator that I got from a quest I will show you later works on these, and this is much more efficient. You have Ultimine in here, and we can just right-click, and it'll go in here. This is the resources I have so far. I've built up enough that we should be able to do a little bit of stuff later. Let's mine the coal. Boop. In there, and then you can smelt those for ingots and stuff. In here is our gears that we have. So, say I wanted to switch this out. I would cardboard box. I would grab a pickaxe. I would roll this. And that will get got in here. Put the cardboard box back. Let's say we want more gold. So I would place the gold. Put the cardboard box back where it belongs. And now we have gold. This crystal resonance generator creates a little bit of applied energistics power for the growth accelerator, which will grow the things. It's actually pretty quick. Over here we have our scribes table for our Ars Nouveau. We've done that a couple times on the channel, so I'm not going to spend too much time explaining how this works, but click on here, you get spell glyphs, you go in here, you make spells. It's great. We have our current storage, which needs to be moved. We have a bonsai pot growing oak wood, which I have a lot of. And then, because I built that smelter thing over here, I put a smoker upgrade in the golden furnace to cook food faster, because that thing can't cook food. This was here when we got here. If we bone meal the flowers, we'll get more random flowers. This is from the FTB Stuff and Things, which is an overpowered mod. Tempered glass jar, you can heat the bottom of it to cook stuff. Like, there's a bunch of different recipes. Water, sand, and gravel. Make clay, which actually I didn't know about, but I will be using later. Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff. I've been using it for making lava, which goes in here. This will automatically hit this button when there's space in there. Otherwise, you have to hit it every crafting, which was a lot. Moving on, we have this little fishing dock here. In here, we have non-essence items for fishing and essences, and I will demonstrate how this works. This is one of the other resource paths. If we drop a fishing line here, and we wait, there we go, little bubbles. It's actually a mini game in this, and if you click it right time, you pull up a bunch of essence and other stuff. So that's how that works. I have done a little bit because it was fast at the beginning before I realized I could use the growth accelerator. I think somehow I've managed to go through most of it. Sweetberry bush, rice plant for slime balls, potatoes, and hemp, which makes me string. Over here is the dripper, which I will demonstrate here. This is how I've been making clay, because you can put a block below it, you can put water in it, and it will drip into clay. Hopefully. Sometimes it changes fast, sometimes it... There we go. So that's how that works. I think that might actually be all I've done, so let's take a look at the quests real quick. So you're welcome here, classic. Useful items. Got a bunch of those. Getting started is the main quest line. So you've got this thing where you make clay and a bucket and a campfire, and then you're getting lava in that jar. You've got composter, you've got string. There's a shop, which I will show you in a minute. Then that strainer gets you stuff like cobblestone. You can build furnaces, and then there's these 3 paths of resource generation. There's fishing for essence, there's create sifting, and there's crystalmancy, which is the gears. I picked crystalmancy, which gave me money, bone meal, grains of infinity, wood, pickaxe with fortune 3, because you can right-click on the gears and it will apply the fortune. And then the growth accelerator, which I thought was for AE crystals and would only apply later, but apparently it applies now. So don't make my mistake and wait to do that. We've got compact cobblestone generator, waste stones, beds, backpack, those auto hammers, and then we have skills, which I have done a bunch of athletics just from running around the island. So we have a +3 jump height, we have a bunch of movement speed, feather falling, we have magic, which I got started on and ground out because this will just grow your magic skill, just firing magic missiles into the void. For example, 300, 314. So that's an easy one to grind. And then we have mining, which I haven't done a lot of, but I've got a little bit of Ultimine upgrades from it. Next on the quests, we have made a sword, made a pickaxe, made a book, got some redstone and some seeds. Heading down here, this shows you where to get, this is like a cross-section grid. We've got the mechanical gold mesh, for example. You can take this, put it in your offhand, and then you can grind up sand. This is intended for use in the create sifter, but I don't have that. So I have just been doing it by hand. Okay. There. So this will show you what you need to grind. So gravel and gold mesh will give you emerald chunks, etc. Gold chunks are from sand and an iron mesh, that kind of thing. We've got gears, which you make a lot of them by crafting them or clicking die on a void catalyst, which you get grains of infinity and cobblestone. To get the cobblestone, I've already shown you how we do that. For the grains of infinity, you kind of just jump off the edge here. And this will, if you fall through the void, we have forgiving void. Oh no. Okay. Well, it's a good thing I had that feather falling effect, right? It will also, if you're just down there, below Y -30 or something, it'll just generate those. But you can teleport back and you could just fall into the void infinitely, which produces this funny little clip that is on screen right now that I took. That's kind of the new AFK spot. If I want to AFK, I'll just farm infinity grains, which is quite fun to watch from the outside, because it's just... whoo, whoo, whoo. Okay, moving on. There's a bunch of other little ones. There's some stuff. There's some tech mods. There's magic mods, a lot of them. Bunch of exploration stuff. It's very similar to FTB Evolution, which is both good and bad. It means we have some experience, we can learn some things, and also it might be some overlap, but I think I have some new ideas that'll make it fresh. For example, just like I said in the intro, or in that little orientation video, the plan for this series is to eventually build a multiversal traveling ship, which is an interesting way, I think, to make the Modpack have a goal that isn't this insanity. Because the FTB pyramid is back. We're not going to finish this, but the end goal is to build a ship. So we're going to work towards that. And I think that'll be fun. So that's the state of things. If we look at our character, we have $302, which we can spend in the FTB shop to buy things like happy guests. We can buy drawers, furnace upgrades. Once we get a time pouch, we can buy time, which I think will be fun. Yeah, gold coins are worth $10, silver coins are worth $1, and crystal coins are worth $50, which we can spend on those various things. I don't want to spend too much of my coins on these, because I might need them later for something. I don't know what, but I'm just like that. And I think the only thing left to talk about is the plans for the series. I've already mentioned that the plan is to build a ship, but in the more immediate future, I have a bunch of resources down there, but what I really need is diamonds. And in order to get diamonds, we can find them through exploration a little bit, which we're going to do in the next episode, but we can also drip polymorphic fluid from just dire things onto emeralds in order to get diamonds and make our diamond geode. But in order to make the diamond geode, we also need to get into productive metalworks, which is basically just a reimagining of the Tinker's Construct smeltery without all the other stuff from the Tinker's Construct mod, which I think is going to be really cool. So we're going to work on that next episode. We're going to do some exploring next episode, maybe find enough diamonds to do that. But I think that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and go check out Grok's video that released today, because he's also doing a series on this pack. And yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time, Merry Christmas, everyone. Ooh, one more important thing I forgot to mention. There's a progress in this mod that requires fire tick to be on. So if you're playing on the server, usually F2G servers have fire tick off. This one has it on, so be aware of that. But yeah, just wanted to mention that before I go. Later!